Catch me, I be on my mission. Catch me, candid for these lenses. Catch me, one day whipping in these Benzes. Catch me, catch me, catch me. Catch me, like we playing on. Roll one, and you gon' sing along. Ay, sip some, and you gon' get your dance on. Catch me, catch me, catch me, drowning in ambition.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to let's start again.
Starting strong.
Yeah, it's one of those days. Let's start again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Couch Creatives. I'm your host for today, Caleb, also known as Crazy Kind, as you know. And on today we have a new guest. On today's show we have a new guest. I don't know, my English is off today. You know, it comes to the end of the week, and it's Friday. So you know, I'm just taking the weekend and saying forget about the English and just go all slang and just, you know, it's party weekend, I guess. You know, Brad, as you know, on the couch here right beside me. Brother, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm super happy to have you on the show here. You are an entrepreneur.
Thank you.
A creative director, a all-round creative, you know, doing amazing things with your podcast and with your businesses as well. So I'm super excited just to have you on the show, just to talk about your journey so far.
Thank you.
And yeah, who knows how this interview is going to turn out. I'm just ready to pick your mind, and yeah, let's have some fun. You know, you're getting comfortable. Hence, you can see my legs is on the couch here, being super informal, but you know, this is a conversation, informal, comfortable conversation where we just get to know one another and just like let the viewers that's watching right now just to know the creative mind behind Quiade Creative Studio, right?
That was that's the first recent project that's still going. Yes.
Yeah. Let's start with Quiade, the first one. You know, because there's Quiade and there's Quiade. The one with just the differences with the spelling. One is a K, one with the C.
So at the moment there's Quiade Creative Studios, which has a sub-brand which is Quiade Creative Productions. So the studios is the business of renting our studio space, and the point of that's what we started in April 2021. 2021, with two partners, Murray Clark and St. John Gardner from Neighborhood, a co-working company. We started a studio to rent, make access to multifunctional studio spaces, a lot like this one. Yeah. More accessible for younger creators because studio is expensive and that's an unnecessary barrier to entry, and you don't need a massive, big, complex studio. Yeah. When you're starting out, you need a small space that's versatile with some gear that you can play around with and get creative with. And so we wanted to offer like that kind of a space. The name Quiade, C-A-Y-A, came from come as you are, or create as you are. I've always loved the feeling of like a home studio. Yeah. You know, it's very different to going to a studio, and I wanted it to feel a bit like that.
Just homey and just like,
just like come chill and be creative and have fun. Yeah. And we put a particular focus on podcasting because when we started it was like just becoming a thing. Yeah. And for me, again, it's this opportunity for us to tell stories in a completely different way. As Cape Townians and as South Africans, we get to tell our stories on an international level and on an international platform. The internet means we have the same access to output as everyone else. So let's tell those stories, and let's not make podcasting inaccessibly expensive. Yeah. Because to start doing it properly, if you have to buy a setup, it's really flipping expensive.
So this podcast your specific one, or is it like for?
We offer the studio so people who want to start a podcast can
offer them a space.
Yeah, can come and start a podcast
free of charge, or do you?
It's studio rental, so it's 400 rand an hour, and you get all the mics and all the lights. You can start do your podcast. You bring a laptop, record it. If you want to start it yourself, you bring a laptop, record it, put it out yourself, and we'll help you with information on how to do that. Or you can then work with, and what a great segue, congratulations. We've got a production company that works out of the studio. Yeah.
So if the guys that want to come and rent your studio space would love to use the equipment as well, that is a separate
the equipment is part of the studio rent.
Part of the studio.
Yeah, so anyone can come and use the gear on hand and start their podcast. Yeah. You know, it's 400 an hour, and then you manage it, you do the post-production, you put it out, that's your baby. If you want us to come on board and do the production of it, so having producers, that's then when you're working with a production company, that's a more premium service. And yeah, but that's enabled us to work with so many incredible different people telling their stories. So yeah.
And during this time, you were studying as well in the commerce field as well.
Yeah.
So how did you find the balance between like starting up the studio space, and being a student and stuff out here, and also funding your business as well on the side while you're venturing out to get your degree, and on top of that, it was COVID, right?
Yeah.
So
COVID helped. I would never have been able to do it if it wasn't for COVID.
Why
because I was studying online. So I could compartmentalize when I was studying because I could make it efficient for me.
Yeah.
And I, to a large degree, neglected parts of my studies. That's like just...
I think most of us did.
I didn't have the time, and this was happening as well. But I feel like I also got a lot more out of my studies than I would have done if I wasn't running a business, because I was studying commerce. So at least it made a lot of shit more actually relevant and practical. I 100% believe the learnings that I got from starting the business are more valuable than my degree, and people are going to get pressed about that, particularly my parents.
Practical
but it's
skills
fine.
More than theoretical skills.
At the same time, there's things that I wish, had I started a business earlier, I would have learned and focused on a lot more in the early stages of my degree.
Do you think would you still pursue your degree if you had done it from the beginning?
I'm lucky that my parents could support me getting a degree, and that's a privilege that very few people have, and so for me not to take that would be, I think it's an opportunity that I'm so lucky to have and I need to take, and it is valuable to some people in terms of getting a job. I hope to not ever need to use it for that. And it certainly taught me a lot. It teaches you a lot about how to stick to a schedule and behave and like deliver promptly on projects and shit like that. But
so you are basically practicing certain elements that you learned in your business.
But I don't like the formal education system very much. I don't think it's very effective.
I think it's very outdated, the formal education. It's too modern to how the society has evolved.
So without COVID, I wouldn't have never have had the freedom to be at studio for the whole year finishing my degree. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I say COVID made it possible.
But I would like to know how did you during the time of COVID you had all this free time, but why was finding a studio and opening a creative space for creatives your first thought of starting that business up, and not like starting a tech company?
That's what my degree's in. That might make more sense, wouldn't it? How we started, I actually was chatting to Murray and Sinjin, who made the studio possible, about an internship at their co-working company, and they were like, we want to add a digital media offering, do you want to start up a studio? And when I started my first company, my events company, Audio Files, when I made the business plan, it was that was my events company pre-COVID. We don't have time, we're on a timeline here. There's content, you can go watch it.
But tell us a little bit more of that, your previous company as well.
I started the first company I started in 2019 was an events company premised on putting kids who I really believed had talent on stage. Because I thought that the young artists who were getting played on radio were people whose daddies knew people in radio, and not the people who deserved it. I didn't like that very much. So look, it was small events, like 100, 150 people, but live music, and that was where my heart was. That's how I got into the industry, through live sound.
And that's why we led into the managing of the band.
And then I started managing Hey Imagine, who are my best friends in the world, and I love them to pieces, Hugo and Jono and Greg, and we had the time of our lives.
Slow down, bro, I feel like you're rushing through.
Oh bro, we got to get through some shit.
Information overload.
We're only 2 projects in, and the third one we still got to get to. Hugo, John, and Greg, we incredible musicians and my best friends, and we played a bunch of gigs. We had so much fun, played with so many incredible people, some of whom are still friends today. One of the guys that I booked for an event that my company did and that Hey Imagine played at, Durant, played in a band called Flow, who I booked, and he's now our head of productions at Kaya, because of that relationship. So we had fun, man. We played fucking gigs. We used to go up to Stellenbosch and have a absolute,
A blast.
hell of a time.
Yeah. And at Rockies, I saw you at Rockies.
That was just as homies, but yeah, Rocking the Daisies was fun. But yeah, I mean, we played Up the Creek, the festival, and then we rebranded to Hey Imagine in March of 2020.
Wow,
which was a very shit time. Very shit time to try and rebrand as a band.
Why you say so?
Well, because we announced the new name and had our first gig as Hey Imagine on the 12th of March, and on the 14th of March, so it was like. And it's hard to play a run of shows to re-entrench your new name when you go straight into hard lockdown. And then we played one gig in September last year for a friend of Daisy Jones and Stellenbosch, and that we filmed as Kaya and put out as a project called Chasing Stages, which I still hope to do something with. So if anyone's in television and they want to do a show about or musicians in South Africa and following them for a day, get in touch, because we'll make it fucking amazing. But yeah, that was so. All of these companies have fed into one another, and they all come from the same place and wanting to support the creative industry, because we've got such incredible
plays
talent.
A contribution to one another. One leads to another opportunity.
Yeah.
There's a third company though. Don't you own like a coffee shop or a cafe?
I'm one of several co-owners. So yes, we just launched the Kaya Cafe with a K. I should be doing.
What's the difference?
I should be doing more to differentiate these brands.
When you're just lazy, you'll be like, nah, just change.
Do you know what? No, do you know what? The come as you are, I forget the English word for what the fuck that means. CAYA. You know what I'm on about. Creators you are. I wanted it to be a creative space that was for people to just come and be. And they, and the as you are thing I really like. I want spaces to be places that you can come to as you are, and just like come to it with who you are legitimately, and come have a vibe and be in a space where you feel that that's okay.
I noticed that you posted on your Instagram stories that you're hosting your podcast at the cafe.
We did a live one last night.
Is this going to be like a regular thing? Or like a
we're probably going to do the KayaCast live once a month, and we're going to do a whole bunch of other podcasts. Yeah. So let me talk about the Kaya Cafe. Let's go. Let's give it to me. We're going to talk about the Kaya Cafe. Incredible opportunity through a high school friend of mine who has given us the opportunity to create the space at 35 Loeb Street. Please come check it out. By day, it is a cafe / gallery / consignment store, all about celebrating fucking excellent local creators and makers. So we have at the moment, I think it's 4 of each, but we want to generally have 5 of each. 5 artists and 5 vendors. So 5 artists whose work is on the wall, and 5 local brands who sell their stuff through us on consignment. And we've got an incredible barista, a legend of a human being called Malusi, who's launching his coffee brand through the cafe. So that's also really cool. It's incredible coffee. He's such a coffee aficionado, which I love because I'm a caffeine addict. Caffeine addiction is a real thing, and it's not good. And I'm saying it. It's not good. And most of the creative industry is running on it, but I've opened a coffee shop, so come indulge in it. And then by night, we've just launched it. I want to try and throw everything at it, event-wise. It's a small space. It's like 6x7. It's a small space. It's intimate. It's not pretentious, it's comfortable, and I want to do live podcasts, I want to do live performances, DJs, I want to do short film screenings, I want to do panel discussions, I want to do poetry readings, I want to do, like, if you can think it, like, I want to try it as if it's for celebrating what's great about the creative industry in the city. Let's fuck around and have some fun, dude. Let's fuck around and have some fun. And I want to emphasize, I know we're tight on time, that it's not, the beauty of that space, and there have been so many beautiful hands that have come together to make it happen as well. I'm far from the only one. Gina, my partner, is also one of the owners of the cafe, and she's done an incredible job with the cafe side of it. That's not really my department. Max and Timo and Floris, the brothers and friends of mine from school who built the space and made it a reality, a huge, incomparable part of it. And the vendors who are in the space, Stoneware Club who did the crockery. I'm gonna miss people. It's not because I'm being rude, it's because it's been a long day. It's been a thing that's happened because of so many people coming together, and the strength in it will happen because more and more people come into it together, and more people do things in it that all come around the same ethos. So come to us with ideas if it's possible, if it makes sense, and a lot of things will. I'm as game as possible to try and make it happen. It's a space that will only work because of people coming together and collaborating, and that's bloody tight to my ethos. You can go watch some old shit, and that's the same shit. And yeah, it's not about me. It's not about all of the companies I've started. Everything that we've done has been because there's incredible local talent in the city of a world-class standard. That's why so many internationals come here to do shit. It's because we're world-class, we just don't talk about it enough. And yeah, like talk about it more. No, but it's true. Like, we have local talent in the city, in this country, that is world-class. That's why the internationals come and use us. We just need to talk about it more, and take up that space for ourselves as a creative industry.
Wow. That was a lot to take in. Got a question before you?
Fuck yeah.
Go for the question before I answer my question.
Why do you think like us here, as in Cape Town, we have the talent, but like what do you think is short, and do you think is it much worse, more of collaboration with each other, or coming together, or is the industry so what can I say, it's so
divided,
split up?
Yes. So do you think we should combine it all together so we can make something just it's a huge bomb,
Yes.
like a Hollywood.
I don't know what bomb is it. And it's not just the music industry, also through much worse
film,
media too.
This kind of stuff, huge.
So do you think us as in Cape Town coming together, would it be a good idea, or?
Yes. Yes is the short answer. Like, that's always been my thinking. And look, I don't have all the answers. I don't know what the fuck. I'm fucking 22. Like, I'm figuring shit out.
You're 22, but you have 3 businesses that you out.
I'm just stressed. Dude.
Life,
I'm just I'm a living ball of stress. And that's also it's hard to do anything like this in the creative industry, and people don't deal with it enough, and the toll that it can take on your mental health and your relationships and your body and everything is like, people don't understand it enough, and people need to give it respect. And I'm speaking for friends of mine. In answer to your question, yes, like, I've always, I felt as I was getting into the industry when I was like early mid-teens, whatever, and I was just a junior sound tech trying to learn, and I loved the people I was meeting, but it felt very fragmented and competitive, and that I don't like, and I don't think it makes sense. And it's this ethos of like, oh well, I'll just get to just big enough that I can like move to Joburg, and then hopefully I can like get a little bit bigger, and then maybe I'll get to go overseas a bit and then bring back. Like, no, stay here, put your energy into developing a community and pulling up younger guys and bringing people with you, because you can fight for a big slice of a small pie, and then you have a big slice of a small pie and no friends. Or you can work with other people to build a bigger pie, and then you have a smaller slice of a bigger pie, so it's worth more, and you have friends, and you've built something together, and that's so much more rewarding. And the like short term, I've got to like get the most out of this that I absolutely can at the expense of anyone else. Like, it's just not going to get us anywhere, man. And we need spaces that encourage that, and people to get on board with that. And like, if you fuck with people, do shit with them. Like, offer shit to do. If you look up to someone, ask them to help them with something. Like,
that's why I reached out to you, to come on the show.
And thank you for doing that, because what you're doing, and I know the importance of it, because a lot of it's similar to what we're doing on the KaiCast, is like, we just need to be having these conversations with one another. And
I thought you were going to be like, nah, put me on read or something like that. I was like, that's too good for me.
No, I understand the importance of what you're doing, because it's what I think. Like, we need to be having these conversations with one another in a way that other people can engage with it. And we can start having the conversations out in the open and dealing with the problems and dealing with the issues that we've got in the industry. Because I love this industry. That doesn't mean I think it's perfect. That doesn't mean I think there's... I think we're so far from our potential as an industry, like we can't even comprehend it. Like Cape Town is Cape Town is a city that has its shit, and it's important to acknowledge that. And Cape Town's the most beautiful city in the world. Yes, it is. There's also so many things that are wrong with Cape Town, and it's important to deal with those things. And South Africa at large, and it's important to deal with those things, sure. But at the same time, we need to remember that we're leading the world in so many things, and there are South Africans that are leading the world. I'm nearly done, don't worry, my monologue is nearly over.
We need to have you on the show again.
We'll do it, it's fine. There are South Africans that are leading the world in so many different places, and we also need to talk about that. I don't not talk about or deal with any of the shit, because there's lots of it and we need to. But
we need more.
The reason we'll be proud to stay and want to work on doing all of that stuff is if we remember that we're fucking killing it in other ways as well.
I think it's important to have these open conversations.
Part two,
we need a part two, because it's essential. Mr. Brad for president, man, come on.
No, fuck that shit. I'm not getting into politics. That's a dirty game, man.
You got so much insightful information that it's essential to have these conversations, because I'm like gravitated to the conversation, and I understand why your podcast, because you can like just
I like
exude information out
into it.
So I feel like a lot of people that's watching right now is like wanting to know more about you. So do check Brad's podcast. Where can we?
You can find the KaiCast on whatever you stream podcast stuff on. Kaya Creative Studios on Instagram, at the Kaya Cafe on Instagram. Check them out, because I want you to shape it. Like, you shape it. So if you wanted to do shit,
you at service of the audience.
Like, let's have some fun.
Mr. Farrell.
Thank you.
Are you relating to Colin Farrell, Will Farrell?
Probably loosely. I am of Irish descent, and it's an Irish name. So
are they all in the same industry as you?
Odds are it's odd.
So
somewhere along.
Last question from my side before we end the show is that, what is the secret for your success, bro? Like, you for 22-year-old, you have accomplished so much things, and I can, from what you have discussed, you surround yourself with so many people that can elevate your success, at the right team. Without the right team, you wouldn't be where you are at this moment. So 100%. That is one of the secret of success, which I can pick out from what you've spoken of. What else can you implement from there?
I want to emphasize that one quickly, because it's so true. Like, the biggest thing I've learned out of all of this is try to surround myself with people who are better at me than the things that I need them to do, or the things that I need done. And all of my team are better than me at things. And like, without a doubt. And I often
from taking the information, but doing it myself, because
I can try. No, it's not that. Like, it's without being an asshole, it's the ideas that have got us here, and the ideas, or at least the company and their direction, part of it came from me. And so that's IP, but I don't want to get into that. That's not the point. Everyone in my team has been a part of developing what we've done in various different ways.
Select a certain few that you can trust.
And I've had to learn how to, and what to look for in people to bring on our team, as I want to level up and start working with bigger networks and bigger platforms. And I need to have people around me that I want to take that, and that can take us to that next level. But that's the first thing. Second thing, firstly, success. If it looks like that, then that's Gina doing a very good job on Instagram, as she does. It's a lot of hard work. I don't often draw a salary. I'm lucky that my parents still support me to a degree, and that's important to talk about as well. I'm lucky. That's part of how it works. and like the thing is, if I didn't take that opportunity, then I'm really just not making the most of it. And I really just, the other secret to whatever success it is that I just legitimately fuck with the creative industry, and it comes from a place of if we can help you do something, and we need to be valued properly for our services as well.
Of course,
we do this professionally. We aren't, we can't just give away our time all the time. But I really want to help solve problems for the creative industry because I'm really proud of it and to be a part of it. So I think that I think intent leads everything, and I think if the intent's good, then the direction will be right, and we'll hit somewhere along the way.
Amen.
And we'll meet good people doing it, and that's the privilege.
Out here preaching to us. Hey, bro, we don't have time for this.
He's fully cutting us off. We'll do a part 2.
No, you get to part 2. I mean, Mr. Director behind the cameras getting the pissed off here. Bro, okay, guys. Brad, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Or time or afternoon. I don't know when this will be aired, but yeah, hopefully you come back again on part 2. A slide in the DMs
again. We'll do a podcast, so we can have a long one.
Part 2. This guy, you must be on the couch. They should answer all the questions, bro. Anyway, guys, check out Brad on his socials. You did mention the socials.
Mine's brad.farrell.
Yeah, and then you will see all the other links to the podcast and all the production companies that is. And as you know the gist. But yeah, I'll see you in the next episode, and thank you for watching. Peace out.
Thank you, bro.
Oh, bro, thank you so much. That was.
Catch me, I'll be on my mission. Catch me, candid for these lenses. Catch me one day whipping in his Benzes. Catch me, catch me, catch me. Catch me, like we playing on. Roll one, hey, you gon' sing along. Hey, sip some, hey, you gon' get your dance on. Catch me, catch me, catch me, Drowning in ambition now.